Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Dise and Sheik. This game taking place here on Throne of Tides. This is a new map. I have not seen it or explored it just quite yet. Dise spawning as the red Night Elf player on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Sheik is spawned as the yellow undead on the top right. There are a couple of green creep camps nearby, as should be 4-3-1-1 creep camps. There are a couple of orange creep camps nearby as well, and expansions are actually a little bit further away. So trying to militia clear out these expansions are a little bit more dangerous, and there's actually 2 expansions for each side to possibly take. So we'll have to see what this game looks like when there is some sort of fast expanding player. We got Dise in red on the bottom left, and Sheik in yep, that there. You guys know what's going on, as Dise now training up an archer here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and head over to the 2-minute mark, get this game going, as the archer, well, trying to take down some of these creep camps here. Keeper of the Grove currently out, going up against a Death Knight. No surprise, it looks as though it is going to be ghouls coming in from Sheik until a graveyard is placed down a bit later. All right, second Ziggurat actually being placed out in a much more forward position than I would have suspected. I would have normally suspected a second Ziggurat being placed down in the back to try and, well, protect against any sort of harassment inside the undead base. Unbroken Rager coupled with a couple of skeleton archers. An interesting thing to note here, I believe the Unbroken Rager is... Well, I know it's a demon unit, so can the Death Knight actually Death Coil it? He cannot Death Coil the Skeleton Archers. And that I know, as the Ghouls and the remaining units going to finish off this Skeleton Archer here. Death Knight now currently in the middle portion of the map, ready to put in a bit of pressure, as the Keeper of the Grove is already sitting at level 2. Death Knight sitting at level 1. Death Coil not going to be able to finish off that target there, as damage is still racking up. Death Knight trying to get the animation off, but unable to finish, as the skeletal minions now currently just pop back up and get in a little bit there. There's a quick Death Coil to finish off one tree end to gain a little bit of experience, as Sheik gets a good deny on a skeletal minion. There are a lot of different types of creeps on this map, and a lot of the landscape just looks very, very, very desolate, with a lot of creeps that we don't normally see. All right, quick purge from the Storm Reaver Hermit there. Death Knight continuing to cause a little bit more problems, and now gets the Death Coil steal there. Level 2 now on that Death Knight, trying to go after some more of those units here, as the Skeletal Minion could end up getting denied. No deny once more, as the Keeper of the Grove gains that experience. Death Knight now looking to retreat back, and with that Unholy Aura, will be able to move around the map, fairly easily. Rod of Necromancy charge waiting to be used here, as we can see a skeleton has been dropped. All right, coming back through Death Knight. Keeper of the Grove still battling back and forth. Archers actually finding a couple of low hit point ghouls, and the Wisp, if it was brought back out in time, could have gotten a couple of easy kills onto some, well, pretty suspecting units here, as we're going to be getting into some damage. All right, low hit point ghoul on Sheik, now trying to retreat away. And how often do you see this? 4 archers going into an undead base for that pressure, that forward Nerubian tower being used to try and get in a couple of a couple of slows onto those units, as the Keeper of the Grove now racking in some damage, finishing off one ghoul there, continuing the fight. Dust of Appearance being used there, as well as the Death Knight was able to buy Dust of Appearance from that Tomb of Relics, originally selling Dust of Appearance to try and deal with that Blade Master harassment back in 2003. Keeper of the Grove continuing the fight. There is more damage getting added in, as the Keeper of the Grove will be forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal, down to 21 hit points, cutting it awfully close as he retreats back home, and now going to regenerate, well, quite a bit of hit points while draining all of his Moonwells. All right, back off to the north here. Ancient of War going to be switching off into positions. Demon Hunter, I know, is getting trained up. Nope, it was a Demon Hunter moments ago, now changing into a Panda instead, and now going to try and clear out this creep camp up on the high ground, perhaps giving level 2 to that Brewmaster. Treants joining in on the battle. Meanwhile, we are looking at the Hydra hatching, and Sheik not very far away at all as the crow flies, as the Panda may not be able to get to level 2. This creep location is actually quite cumbersome, it would look like, trying to clear out this creep camp here as a quick skeleton getting taken down once more. All right, there's a Murloc. There's still a Crab Behemoth as the Death Knight now going to make its way over, perhaps trying to get that last hit on that Murloc Nightcrawler. A little bit of damage here. Ancient of War, who's going to get the last shot? Level 3 now on the Death Knight. Another beautiful steal as Sheik is doing his best to deny experience onto the Keeper of the Grove and that Panda. Lich is already out on the battlefield as well. Tech to tier 3, nearly halfway done, and we should be looking at a transition into Crypt Fiends and also that Orb of Corruption. That is going to be a sudden increase, and I didn't even realize this earlier. Sheik had actually backed away from his own creep camp to time the creep jack there and put in a pressure to steal a little bit of that experience. Tree of Life now coming in from Dise, but Dise, is he going to be able to hold on to this? Ancient of War trying to make its way over as the Death Knight and the Lich are just out here causing so many problems. Breath of Fire coming back across the other way. Staff of Teleportation. Brewmaster going to be able to head back on out here. Wand of Mana Stealing quickly being used as well to try and deny any more problems, as the Tree of Life needs to eat a couple of trees, but some of the tree ants, well, came from those trees as well, forcing the Tree of Life to walk that much farther. More damage coming back across. We can see Lich, well, did in fact have enough mana for that Frost Nova there. I thought a Wand of Mana Stealing could have stealing another 50 mana, delaying that Frost Nova just a bit more and then causing a bit more problems with another Entangle. Units are now retreating back. Keeper of the Grove and will be able to establish up this Tree of Life. Panda looks like it's going to try and get to level 2 here, and doesn't get to level 2 as the Death Knight comes in with the Death Coil Steal again. Death Knight with the Death Coil Steal has been denying quite a bit of hit point, or quite a bit of experience, experience for the Brewmaster and that Keeper of the Grove. Ring of Regeneration, a nice have item for that Brewmaster who is currently low on hit points here. Every second is an additional 2 hit points regenerated on that Brewmaster if he isn't topped out. So that is always a good sign there. Level 2 Brewmaster, perhaps going to be going for Drunken Haze as he's finally at level 2 after all this time. With that said, though, the Lich is still sitting at level 1, and it looks like the Undead is going to be retreating back home, picking up that Orb of Corruption, and then really starting to hit a stride here. All right, nope, still no Orb of Corruption now on that Lich. Handed it off. Death Coil onto the Lich to absorb a bit of damage. Obsidian statues, and this is the standard army for Undead. Over here on the top left-hand side of the map, we are looking at Hydras being left behind here. A couple of Makura Tidecallers also here as well. And the Hydra dealing quite a bit of damage here. Does this Hydra actually split? I'm trying to remember which Hydras split and which Hydras don't split. The Hydra trying to fight back against here. That is a bit of chaos damage. No splitting. And now Scourge Bone Chimes, not the item he was looking for, and leaving behind a Tome of Agility as well. Perhaps this Scourge Bone Chimes would be a good reason to try and transition into bears as well. Naga Sea Witch, third and final hero for the Undead. Death Knight, Lich, and a Witch working together here. Meanwhile, Dryads are now trying to make their way over, trying to get a little bit of poke damage onto some of those units. There's a bit of slow as they're absorbing some of that damage as well. Crypt Fiends, however, are able to deal quite a bit of damage to these Dryads. There's a Breath of Fire Frost Nova trying to go down as well as the Dryads are trying to retreat away. All right, in comes a little bit of damage. In comes Devour Magic from the Destroyers, taking down all of those tree ants pretty quickly and easily. There goes another Breath of Fire, damage over time as well, but the Panda is going to be in trouble. Staff of Preservation for the save as the units are now trying to retreat back again. Panda looking to regenerate more hit points as we're still looking at the Death Knight and Sheik just really pushing in really hard here. Dise having no real answer, even though he currently has the larger army. He is sitting on 2 bases, so he has the economic advantage. But Sheik has really been able to push Dise back into a corner here. And if Sheik is able to continue to level up his heroes, then things could go sideways pretty quickly for Dise as Sheik's army is looking stronger and stronger. Coming in from the side here, Death Knight. Well, both of these armies are actually fighting directly next to each other. Now level 3 on the Brewmaster as we're going to be going into an engagement here. Low hit point Dryad. Why isn't it getting Staff of Preservation back home? I do not know, as a couple of well, more creeps still following all of this fight here. That is a level 7 creep right there. And who's going to end up taking it down, getting in that last shot? Death Knight, Death Coil, Breath of Fire. No, not going to work, as that Breath of Fire was quickly canceled, picking up a Health Stone. More Devour Magic across all of those tree ends here. No Frost Nova going down. Cold Arrow should be going down onto that Brewmaster to try and slow him down, rack up a little bit more damage. Death Coil, Staff of Preservation for the save. I believe he was able to dodge that Death Coil. Well, difficult to say now, as he also picks up a Potion of Healing. 65 supply compared to 47. Dise now using that economic advantage to build up a larger army and still buy items, as we're looking at more damage coming on through. Fork Lightning, Breath of Fire coming back across, and the army of Dise is just so large. Mass Dryads causing him problems, as the Crypt Fiends are trying to focus down these targets one at a time with the help of the Lich. Lich gets up to level 3, double level up here, as more damage still adding on through. All the Crypt Fiends are now taken down, though. 44 supply compared to 62, as the Lich is trying to rack up more of that damage here. One Crypt Fiend still alive, and it looks like well, the Crypt Fiend going to get blown over as well. Panda could be in a little bit of problems. Potion of Healing transferred there, as we're still fighting our way through. Death Coil onto the Lich for the save. Staff of Preservation for the save as well, as both sides are still fighting across here. Obsidian Statues now trying to get away from the Dryads. Dryads do not slow poison any mechanical units, as we're still looking at some of this damage here. All right, the Naga Sea Witch is just acting as another range unit to go after all of those Dryads. 59 supply compared to 42, as these units are still trying to get away, and they are, well, prancing and dancing away again. All right, no easy way to slow down any of these units, trying to get in front of these units as well. All of these Dryads are actually caught in a pretty uncomfortable corner, and we're going to see some more damage. Those Dryads taking bonus damage, as they are now negative on armor, but that difference in that unholy aura, the movement speed, no longer nearly as high, making a pretty drastic difference here, as we're looking at damage racking back up once more. As the Dryads are dancing around, though, it is giving more and more time for Dise to get more gold out of that expansion, and that's exactly what Dise wants. He wants to prolong this game as much as he can and then ride an economic advantage. Abomination giving Disease Cloud to multiple Dryads here. That is going to cause a problem for Dise, as you can see all of those Dryads are losing hit points even during Nightfall, where they have 200% regeneration. When Nightfall comes to an end, their hit points would be dropping even faster, as the Abomination, well, starts to tank a little bit of damage. Coming back around, level 3 on the Naga Sea Witch, most likely inbound here. Crystal Ball being used. Dryads, you can see them taking that damage over time, and just one Abomination has done so much damage to this collection of Dryads here. Perhaps another Abomination will get added, or, well, it looks as though the one Abomination with Death Coil support is perhaps enough. Trying to finish things off here. There goes a Wisp Naga Sea Witch, just shy of level 3, as we're going after more and more of these wisps as well. And, well, going to see exactly that. Units are going to try and retreat back. 63 supply. Where are they going to land? Landing right here. And, well, all the units are retreating back once more without really much of a problem. More Crypt Fiends need to get added in. A second Obsidian Statue going to be bolstered alongside here. And the question is this going to be enough? Dice's army is very Dryad focused for that front line. One Abomination, two Abominations, coupled with all of the Crypt Fiend focus fire, and that damage could really start to spell problems. The Destroyers are there to, well, devour magic, take down those tree ants, so that the Crypt Fiends are well protected. Thank you for the follow, as the Death Knight now cleans things up off here. Obsidian Statue. Well, two Obsidian Giants coming in from the far side here. It looks as though the Night Elf not quite ready for an engagement. 55 supply compared to 68. Dise has a similar size army overall. It's his additional population trying to deal with, well, more resources, get more wisps out onto the battlefield for, well, lumber and gold. How do you like the map? I like the map a lot. I actually like it a little bit more than the previous one. The narrow walkways are a little bit wider, and flanking and positioning and map positioning makes a very, very big difference. Overall, I'll have to see more games with more race matchups, but so far I'm liking the map a lot. All right. Coming back, well, if there's a little bit of a downtime in the action, of course I read chat, right? Coming back around here, Reef Elemental, last couple of remaining units. There is one meat wagon joining in on the battle, and two meat wagons joining in on the battle. If she actually leaves meat wagons behind, that would actually be a horrible misstep. Why is his army separated? That doesn't make any sense, but luckily he does not get punished for accidentally separating his army. There are a couple of Druids of the Claw ready to go for that frontline supply, 79 supply compared to 60. And if the meat wagons are able to do their thing, then things will go sideways rather fast. Sheik now trying to get up to, well, 70 supplies, setting up another ziggurat here. A quick Ancient of War will get taken down. No level up off of this Ancient of War as the meat wagons are well, slowly making their way into position here to take down these buildings. And now there's a Tree of Life. All right, positioning is going to be key. Where are they going to land? There's an engagement here, and some, well, meat wagon damage could have landed already. All right, in comes a Frost Nova across all of those bears. They are moving very, very slowly. Meat wagon in that front line. Disease Cloud causing problems, and so much Disease Cloud along that back line there. Dryads are going to start falling like crazy, but the supply advantage is still belonging to Dise and his economic advantage there. More Breath of Fire coming down. Abomination down to 156 hit points. He's going to get pressured. Death Coil is going to be on time, but only a level 2 Death Coil as the Panda able to stay alive at 55 hit points. All right, Dryad's now trying to retreat back. 49 supply compared to 76. Things are not looking good for Sheik. Even though he does have the right units, he is not going to be able to stick around in this battle. Staff of Preservation coupled with Staff of Teleportation and Moonwells just working its magic more and more as the Disease Cloud on those Dryads are nearly getting that if they just sneeze, they would end up getting taken down. A little bit of splash damage may be all that is needed. Scroll of Speed or Scroll of Healing used there to try and counteract as Abomination gets taken down. Level 4 now on the Naga Sea Witch, trying to poke down some of these remaining units, but the bears are taking down the Crypt Fiends as well. Massive retreat, 73 supply compared to 35. Sheik, well, not realizing the sheer size of Dice's army, coupled with the fact that, well, coupled with some really well-timed play. Fork Lightning not available. Death Knight wants to get a Death Coil off onto that Keeper of the Grove. Panda is right there. Things could go sideways quickly. Death Coil, but a Staff of Preservation saves the Keeper of the Grove. Hero Focus, trying to take down those heroes, only to see the hero disappear right before your eyes each time it was about to get taken down. And Sheik, with his focus, unable to do very much there. Expansion currently up for Sheik, but Sheik must know that he lost that last battle, trying to spend so much time taking down the heroes, only to see Staff of Preservation saving those heroes time and time again. I've seen the food disadvantage and gotten, yeah. The problem right now is that the Dryads are immune to magic, right? So the Dryads being immune to magic, coupled with the fact that Fork Lightning and Frost Nova can't really burst down this group of damage here. Bears were also able to freely get to the Crypt Fiends, and that could have just been a sheer size of the army making such a big difference there. Death Knight now currently out onto the battlefield. Obsidian Statue joining in, gonna pick up a Tome of Strength and Rune Bracers, and now getting up to level 5 on the Death Knight is going to be key, but it's going to be too little too late. Even though Sheik has a more higher level or more heroes at the same level, he's not going to be able to really come out ahead here as, well, looking at the Crypt Fiend who's quickly trying to stick his head in the sand, thinking to himself, if maybe we'll win if I stick my head in the sand. Dust of Appearance, Crypt Fiend quickly going to be revealed right there. Staff of Preservation starting to save even just Dryads, and that is going to be a problem once more. Death Knight not having level 5, not being able to do a 600 hit point heal, only do a 400 hit point heal, perhaps enough of a difference there as more units are continuing to battle its way through. All right, main gold mines, only 1 minute of mining left. I believe Night Elf is going to be even less than that. And with that said, and the pressure being put on Sheik's expansion, I believe Sheik is going to end up losing this game and giving the GG here momentarily as, well, Dice tries to make sure that he doesn't make any critical mistakes. Back off to the north, Death Knight just shy of level 5. Getting to level 5 could be a big deal. Oh, Rejuvenation onto a Druid of the Claw. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation? No. Death Knight gets up to level 5. Is this going to be enough perhaps to try and burst down some of those heroes now as the Keeper of the Grove and the Panda staying nearby at this expansion. Meat Wagon trying to rejoin up, still unable to do that. Units now making their way back off to the north. Meat Wagon wants to spread some disease, cloud, and cheer across all of those dryads, as the Meat Wagons could cause some problems, as those dryads do take damage over time from that disease cloud. I don't believe it's going to be quite enough at all, as the level 4 now on the Naga Sea Witch. Is that going to open up anything either? All right, Sheik has gotten back up to a 50 supply army. Engagement. Dryads are now trying to push on in. Crypt Fiend's now trying to retreat back. Is he going to be able to save there, as the Meat Wagons launches a couple of attacks, getting in some splash damage once more. 77 supply compared to 50. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, racking up more damage here. Obsidian Statues trying to offset some of that damage still, as this is going to be as large of an army as Sheik is going to get. Nope. Training up in a new Obsidian Statue and another Meat Wagon as well. I don't think he needs another Obsidian Statue. Does probably need that other Meat Wagon, as we see Dise getting very cheeky, setting up a second base so close here. Scroll of Town Portal now inbound. This could be the end already, as we're looking at where nope. Was it just a Staff of Teleportation with a quick cancellation there? Tree of Life quickly going to get taken down here, as we're looking at an engagement. Bears now coming in from the side. This is a complete wreck here, as the Bears and Dryads are able to dive on into this position. Bears simply just walking on by there. They weren't really engaging at all, as the Dryads are now starting to poke around. 57 supply compared to 80, and it feels like Dise can just A-move with his army to get the victory. Potion of Invulnerability on the Lich just in time. Death Knight trying to go after the Brewmaster. Brewmaster has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Death Coil may be needed on the Lich, but no, not going to be on the Lich either, as Dise gets up to level 6 on his Panda. Great game back and forth. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. But Dise really just taking that expansion and being able to continually fight with a larger army, working out well this time in this Night Elf versus Undead matchup. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.